We're looking at section 8.1 of the MathLinks 9 textbook, Solving Equations. We're going to look at question number 18 on page 302 of the textbook. One year, a student council sold 856 copies of a school yearbook. 4/5 of the students at the school bought a copy. How many students did not buy a yearbook? So we're going to look at the equation now. 856 again represents the number of copies of a yearbook that were sold. N is a variable here. N is a variable that represents the number of students in the school. Since we need to determine how many students are in the school before we can determine how many students did not buy a yearbook. 4 again represents the 856 copies in the that were sold. 5 again represents the total number of students in the school. This type of equation is an example of an A over X equals B equation. The only difference here is that we're using the variable N rather than the variable X. To solve for this kind of equation, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by the variable. Here, we want to do that to eliminate the fraction on the left-hand side of the equation. So here, when we multiply n by 856 over n, we are left with 856. When we multiply 4/5 by n, we're left with 4/5 n. To solve for this kind of equation now, we are going to divide both sides by 4/5. 856 by 4/5 and 4/5 n divided by 4/5. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because we want to get down to n and solve for n. When we divide fractions, as you might remember, we are going to flip the second one. So we're going to take 856 and multiply, not divide, but multiply that by 5/4. When we do that, when I calculate that answer, I will get the answer 1070 equals n. However, that is not my final answer. 1070 represents the number of students in the school. But what we're looking for is how many students did not buy a yearbook. Well, we know that there are 1070 students in the school and that 856 students bought a yearbook. So to solve and to find out how many students did not buy a yearbook, we're going to subtract. We will take 1070 minus 856. And the final answer is that 214 students did not buy a yearbook.